guys, today, you know, I love me some Friday, but you're going to love it even more today because we got a great plethora of guests. In fact, I want to say it's a bouquet of guests. I definitely don't want you to go nowhere because we got way more to share right here on Inspiration 1390. But before, I got to give praise to where praise is due. First to God, and then to Swagger DJ AJ for always bringing the mix that fits. Y'all, if you don't catch him on every station that he's on, you ain't caught nothing. Catch this. Don't go nowhere. It's time to get down today.
Time to get down today.
Time to get down today. Okay, I want to go back here.
Your aunties really ain't like make you speak, bro.
I know you said. I don't.
That's gonna be the topic of the day. Come here. Hey, Beyonce. Yeah, we know.
Okay, yes.
Hey, didn't you just go talk to them, or you just went and said?
Thank you so much, Beyonce.
How's everybody?
We're good, Beyonce. It's always good to see you. You didn't go say nothing to them, though?
You're in the back.
You go find the guests and
Get them as soon as it's time. Now, see, that ain't speaking. I told you what to say. Told you what to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't play with me with that ma'am stuff.
right. Don't get slapped.
Don't get caught up in here.
These just be moody, boy. I tell you.
I don't care, me too. Geminis are moody too. What's up, believers? Hey, y'all. I'm super glad to be
Can you
back
send me
on
a story
Friday.
about the
Are you in the show?
RNC tomorrow? I mean, yesterday Trump speech. I watched it. I don't have no clip notes.
Oh, well. Anyway, today's topic. Today's exclusive online topic. If you are not online, then you definitely will not know this topic. But I suspect that if you're hearing my voice, you're online. Now, we do not share these topics on the air, but today's exclusive topic. When you come into a room, are you supposed to speak to the people that are in the room, or the people in the room supposed to speak to you?
Great
I want to hear your comments, and I want to see your comments in the thread. This has been a big situation. Now, Jarrell says that it is age specific. I want to hear from you. What is it, or is it it?
So I think the common courtesy is when you enter a room, you speak to the people in the room. Now, if you happen to not speak, the people in the room should speak and say hello. Now, for me, when I walk in the room, if I'm in the room and people walk in, I'm saying, hey, how you doing? Because I want them to feel welcome into the space that they're coming in, especially if I was there first. Mm-hmm. So I do speak. I don't wait on them to speak. I'll be like, hey, how are you? Like a guy got on the elevator. He was looking down, but I spoke to him. I said, how you doing, man? And then he looked up and he said, oh, I'm good, man. Thanks for asking. How about you? But that's just how, you know.
Well, no. Is it something that is a part of how you were reared? Or is it just something of a part of how you show up, period? Because now for me, when I walk in a room, I want to set my own tone, right? I want to make sure that the room understands that I'm here now. Right, exactly. That's a Gemini thing problem.
Tina said you should speak because you are entering. But I speak, and sometimes people don't speak back, but I spoke.
If you don't speak back and I walk in the room, I'll be like, you okay? Did you hear me speak?
Do you speak when you leaving?
Yes.
Like, do you say bye to everybody?
Did you just forget that I said hi to Tamara as soon as you walked in the room?
Exactly.
But I said hi.
You ain't say hi to me.
Right?
Now, not Jarrell. Now,
Justice didn't speak when I walked in the room.
Justice says that he was taught to be.
Oh, so you only got a problem with me then, huh?
So I'm not seeing the because I'm not gonna see. You see the comments.
Yeah.
But I think that when you enter a room, you can set the tone. Like sometimes you can enter a room. Listen to this. Sometimes you can enter a room and the room be gloom, right? And you come and bring the sunshine.
Yeah.
Right? Man. 866-447. So you set the tone.
I think.
It's America on the brunch bunch.
I know I'm gonna get a whole lot of backlash about this, but I think Putin is at it again, right? So this global outage, we had one not in the so distant past with AT&T's outage, but now this global outage is really disrupting everything. Now, I have until I just came back from Brazil. I had a fear of flying. Guess what, y'all? I'm over it. But
good.
But when I saw this about the airlines, it was almost like right at my doorstep, knocking at the door, trying to get back in.
Mm-hmm.
So tech disruptions across the world have hit airlines, banks, businesses, schools, government, and some emergency services, with one expert saying that it could be the largest IT outage in history. So travel woes. Now, this is a big thing. I just showed Justice the map where it is heating up across the country. But I'm understand this. This is not just a nationwide situation. This is a global situation. So I just showed him just what was happening in the US. And it was lit up like Christmas trees. So ahead of a busy summer travel weekend, major US airlines, including Delta, United, American, all have been delayed or canceled flights. And airlines in Europe and Asia are also doing likewise. People all over the globe are seeing disruptions. If you have travel plans, it is a good idea for you to go ahead and check and see if your travel plans are still in the same vein that you made them, because this is impacting so many areas. Critical services are down. Now, when I tell you this might scare you, but I'm telling you this so that you can prepare, not be scared, prepared. 911 services were disrupted in several states. In the US, banks in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Britain have all been impacted, and health services in Israel, Germany, and the UK. What's behind all of this? So apparently there's a stem of, at least partly from the software update of Microsoft Windows operating systems that issued a cyber security firm, CrowdStrike, which has got the whole system going awry. So the fix has been deployed, but impact still remains. So CrowdStrike CEO said that a fix has been deployed, and Microsoft said that the underlying cause has been fixed. Companies and authorities are still scrambling to get back to normal, but this could be a very lengthy process. Now, sometimes I know that you all don't get the news until you hear it from us. So we will always want to keep you apprised of what's going on. So I reiterate, make sure that if you have travel plans, that you are calling to make sure that those travel plans are still on point. If in fact you have a 911 emergency and you can't get through to 911, call your alternate ones, maybe 311, or call some people.
Call King Jesus.
Call King Jesus. There you go.
Last night, Donald Trump took former president, Jarrell's president, Donald J. Trump.
I know you're not talking about Jarrell's president when that's your president too.
Excuse you.
Excuse me.
My president sits high and looks low.
Yeah, boom.
I can't get nobody that.
Boom, passed off the place.
So, your former president, Donald J. Trump, took to the RNC stage last night. And it was the longest acceptance speech in the history of presidents.
Oh, the nomination.
The nomination. Nobody has ever given an hour and 35-minute speech. And I watched all hour and 35 minutes of it. But I will say, in regards to this cyber attack, and you said Putin be Putin. But he did mention, I knew that would make you laugh. He mentioned in his speech that as long as under all of these other presidents, Putin attacked and took land. And he said under George Bush, he said under Obama, he said under Biden. He said, but when he was president, Putin did nothing.
You know why? Because him and Putin boys.
So he said that everybody's scared of him. So I don't believe that this was a Putin attack because,
Well, he's not the president.
Well, truly.
No. No, so I think that a lot of that is to put some calm in the fear that has been associated with Putin historically, right?
Yeah.
And so if he positions himself, he being Donald Trump, positions himself as the person that can calm the Putin essence or effect, then people will feel like, okay, well, if he can, then I'll vote for him. Because first of all, when have you seen Trump? When you think you're gonna see Putin? I'm just saying.
When we go to Russia.
Yeah, because I'm not.
Look, we taking the whole show. Jarrell, you scared of Russia? Oh, no. Did you see what they did to Brittany Griner? Well,
if they did some scans and found marijuana in your system, then you going wherever you're going, right? But on a serious note, I think that was a smart play on Donald Trump's part, because people vote in response to their fear.
Yes, and you know what? He did a lot of fear mongering. Now I watched it, of course, on my favorite news outlet, ABC 7 News, and so of course
Is
they're
Val
like,
Warner on there?
yeah,
I
but
love
she
her.
was. This was world news,
I
the
know, but I'm
national.
just saying.
Yeah, so they Tell what I know. I'm just saying. They said that, of course, he didn't spew any facts. They were fact checking him as he was speaking.
You know
Uh,
he's factless. He
Yeah,
doesn't know.
and he went off script. He did mention that he was not going to say President Biden's name in the speech at all prior to the speech, but he did say it twice last night. Um,
And that surprises you. Why?
it does not surprise me. So, but I saw the people in the audience crying when he was.
I got a
I
Michael
don't mean to
Jackson
laugh.
concert.
When he was speaking about his attempted assassination attempt.
So I have a theory about that whole attempted assassination. Someone did pass away, and literally
Yes.
that was
He had his fireman outfit on stage, and he went and kissed his helmet
yes.
because he
But
was a volunteer firefighter. Well, Jarrell, I'm just telling you what I saw at the RSC. I know Adam watched it.
I didn't watch it.
He took the fireman who died, God rest his soul. He had his
helmet.
suit, a coat, helmet on stage, on like a mannequin, and he went and kissed the helmet.
Well, I have a theory about that whole attempt,
Mm-hmm.
and you can probably guess what my theory is.
That he got shot.
It's boring you to tears.
Anytime I talk about Donald Trump, I start yawning. What is that saying?
That's
But
saying
listen,
that
what
you
is
had
your
a
theory?
long. I think that it was. I don't think it was staged. I think that he had something to do with it, and I think that whoever the sharpshooter was, that they were very skilled at what they did and were careful not to kill him, but enough so that people could get sympathy votes as well. So you got people vote out of sympathy, people vote out of fear, and people vote out of necessity as well. But fewer people vote out of necessity than the other two aforementioned reasons. And I am encouraging you to get rid of all of the fear that any of these politicians are putting into your psyche. Get rid of all of the sympathy and deal with the facts. What is your platform? What are you going to do about the circumstances that are plaguing my neighborhood, my community, my lifestyle? And if those situations do not align, if their postures do not align with your problems, then you know that you have to seek alternative candidates to vote for so that they are in alignment. Now, understand this, that this is not their job solely to fix the things that are unfixed, and I made that word up, in your life. It is your job too. Politicians they went to school for whatever they went to school for. They did not go to school for gapping poverty.
Some of them did go to school. Some.
I said they went to school for what they went to school for.
Right.
But
some went to become a public official.
But they don't know your industry. They don't know your problems. It's up to you to educate them on them and hold their hand to the finish line. What bothers me is that you think that there's some Messiah other than Jesus that's going to come and go and take his office and fix your problems. That's not going to happen, people.
Not never. So you know what? Vote
responsibly.
Vote. And I did put up on my Instagram, God bless America for real, because it's getting rough. But when we get back.
No, let me tell you something. You said a lot. God bless America. If you go travel outside of the country, I was wondering what actually makes a third world country categorized as a third world. Well, when you put your tissue paper in garbage can right in front of you instead of in the toilet, that denotes third world. When your roads are unpaved for the most part, that is third world.
I think we knew that.
I didn't. I did not know that. All I'm saying is it makes you appreciate America in all her ills. Still, America is still the greatest country on earth, in my opinion. And also, in my opinion, we got to give glory to where glory is due. Give it to God. And let's do a song for it, y'all. Let's do Glorious. It's Inspiration 1390.
You sound like you was about to be Putin.
I was Putin. Okay,
Turn
guys.
that down.
The question today is, when you walk in a room.
Hey.
Oh, Deborah Vine said that he was shot in any part of his ear,
he would have hearing loss. He did explain that his doctor taught him that the ear bleeds the most, and that's why it was so bloody. It's the only part on your body.
So staying in your lane said, what about the people wearing ear patches?
Oh,
That part.
I didn't get to go there because I didn't want to take up too much more time.
Sandra said he wasn't a real sharpshooter.
Now, wait a minute. Yeah, you can bring them in. I want to get to.
Staying in your lane.
It's not my day, but if Tamara says, okay, I want you to cut this song so we can keep it moving.
That's if Tamara says.
Right, I said if Tamara says, okay.
She went like 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can cut the song. But anyway, back to what the exclusive topic
Grow up,
is
Andrew.
today. The exclusive topic today is when you walk in the
Oh.
room, is it your responsibility to
Respectfully.
speak, or is it the people in the room's responsibility to speak to you? I want to see your comments in the thread. You are actually helping us to
Not a bad idea.
remedy an entire situation that has been taking up much of our
Smoke
attention.
him. What you say about that one time? So I used like he was cooked something.
Should the people in the room speak to you first?
It's all good. No, we ain't gonna do all that, man. Hey, look,
can y'all hear me? Because it's so much noise in the background.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. How y'all feeling? How you feeling?
Should I take that,
I'll give you this one, Jeff.
all the mics work.
So,
all right, Shannon, Skip.
Turn everything down, guys. And if you're gonna go on live,
No.
and you need to
Skip and Silk. Y'all slow because you should let.
I'm slow. Who got music playing?
You fix the mic on
Oh, I thought it was one of y'all. Like, damn, when they didn't move, I'm
still
thinking.
playing? No, I knew it was going on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that what I'm doing tomorrow?
Yep.
What time is it?
In the morning. You put it up last night. You ain't read the flyer.
It doesn't say the time.
I'm trying to. You read the.
Fellowship and inspiration await you.
Phone number 708.
Hey, believers, it's your main man, Action Jackson. Are you searching for a life-changing word? Look no further than Corby Bush Ministries. Tune in every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time to the Word Network, where Corby Bush Ministry brings you powerful messages.
How do you pronounce this? Syas? Syas. Thank you.
No problem.
Skip and Silk. S&S.
You said Barbara's at near the pier already, right?
Barbara's is at near the pier, and I have
space now. You can move around a little bit.
I have
If you want to, you can get comfortable.
Oh, okay, cool.
Don't forget,
and I have. You need an envelope for that one.
50 seconds, man.
I can give you that. I think Tony has envelopes.
But you're taking that to Bill Hill, remember?
Oh, yeah.
They got envelopes there, I'm sure.
Okay.
Just copy it and then what?
Now put it into Safari.
Oh, 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Envelop your skin in luxury with organic, botanically derived skincare and makeup that is also talc-free and cruelty-free. The foundation is
You have
I looked over.
You can't see sometimes.
Oh,
No,
thank
you need
you,
one of
DJ
these.
B-Lo. I
Look
appreciate
at my
All
screen.
right.
That's what you need.
What's up, Tanya
That's
T.
the next one I
Monster? Y'all,
Doing
the
the same
exclusive
thing.
topic.
We going in, Marcel,
Did y'all
we
hear
going
me?
in.
Come on now.
Wow.
Let's get to it.
What was the question?
Question was, when you come in the room, should you speak, or are the people in the room responsible for speaking to you?
Jackson, I'll tell you what's going on.
So what's going on is we have some great guests on this Friday afternoon. We're thrilled to welcome the dynamic duo behind S&S Records, Inc. and S&S Chicago, Inc., founded in 2005 by four-time Grammy-nominated producer Steve Silk Hurly and global DJ producer Shannon DJ Skip Syas. S&S has become a powerhouse in the dance music scene, combining Hurley's groundbreaking success and Syas' international influence. This label is home to some of the greatest names in music. Let's give a warm brunch welcome to Silk and DJ Skip. Woo, 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 woo. welcome,
excited
brother.
about having you. So you see in your introduction, which you did so very well, Marcel, if I
Oh
may
well, thank you,
say
thank
so
you.
myself, you said that it is home to some of the most powerful music influences in the industry. What are some of those names that we can enjoy that are on your label or have enjoyed?
Shannon Syas, CC Finiston,
Shamisha Spicy.
So y'all got
Yeah.
some heavy hitters
Yeah,
on your
some heavy
label.
hitters.
That's
Selena Johnson, hometown. So yeah, we work with quite a few people. Common, Kanye. Yeah, we work with a lot of folks. So this is exciting.
this is exciting.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, Silk, DJ Silk and Shannon. We are so happy to have you guys in here. I want you to tell us about your journey in the music and how your journey in the music industry began, and what drew you to the house music genre.
You want the long one or the short one? The short one.
You know what?
You got time. Stretch it out.
Start out in the basement on the ones and twos, trying to learn how to do some new stuff, and won some battles and got into the house culture in Chicago before it became a genre. And after winning some DJ battles, I was able to get in the mix with the scene. And by being in the mix with the scene, I realized that I wanted to make my own tracks, and just started making tracks in the bedroom.
Wow.
And like turning things into house, which is putting that oomph, that four on the floor, onto some tracks. And then next thing you know, I was making my own tracks by doing that. So kind of similar to the hip hop genre. We grab vamps from disco records and R&B records, and we're looping them and putting drums on top of it, and then we just started making our own. So it became like a learning curve by the evolution of the technology, which allowed us to use a drum machine instead of having a live drummer, and we were able to start using that technology, similar to how technology has changed in today's landscape with the phones and all that. Like we were on the cutting edge of the technology, changing from live music to electronic music.
Synthesized.
Wow.
So all this happened in the bedroom.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
in the bedroom. Yeah, that's why
I'm just saying.
That's why. Hey, that's why it was so cool. Is that
That's why I started.
You know
that
what?
we could.
But I had a question while you were talking, because as a Chicagoan, and I don't think I know any Chicagoan that does not like house music. Right? When you're from Chicago, you like house, and you gotta like some stepping music. But I've never asked, where did the name house music come from?
You're gonna get a lot of stories on that, but like I'll give you an example. If somebody had a cassette and it was a Frankie Knuckles cassette, this is a tape from the house, right? So they might say this is some house music, but then you got other people that say, hey, that music that we were playing in the house when we had those little small house parties in our house, we call that house music. So they were all referring to the same music, but everybody had their own experience with it. So I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer. It's just, what was your experience with it? My experience leaned more towards hearing about, music that Frankie was playing at the warehouse. Whereas, somebody like Wayne Williams would say, no, it was the music that was in our house. And those house parties, like Alan King, I remember he used to have parties. He used to DJ a lot of house parties at people's houses, and they were off the hook. We had places like the Soft Sheen owners. They had a place on 83rd and King Drive. It was like a mansion that they had, and we had parties in the basement. So that theory could work for that, because those were house parties, and we were playing what we called house music.
It's so funny because I wrote down, prior to you even saying those names, the names of Wayne Williams, Alan King, Craig Thompson, and what their contributions were to making house music a global phenomenon.
I think. Oh, you want to go ahead?
Oh no, you can go ahead.
Oh no. I mean, they were. My parents were strict, so I couldn't go to the parties. I worked at Jewel, and I used to sneak and get on the 26 bus and go 22nd and go to some of the parties, but I wasn't there legally, technically, because I wasn't supposed to be out. But those guys, Wayne and Jesse and Andre and all those guys, they were doing parties before I was in the scene. So they're kind of like, even though they're the same age as me having parents that are strict, I was like, they were like big brothers almost, because I wasn't even in the game like that. So that's the culture of house. So what ended up happening was we all started dabbling and making our own tracks. So Jesse's record was pretty much the first record to come out on wax in 1984.
Okay.
But all of us were dabbling and doing music in our bedrooms, and Jamie Principal even was doing his music. Your Love, that song, he wrote that song in 1982.
Okay.
So but that's not a release because it wasn't released until later on. So that's why you can't say that was the first house record. But his influence is undeniable to anybody you ask of how he influenced house music as well. So
Craig Thompson says he invented house music, right?
All right.
And he and Wayne go back and forth.
They're talking about the culture though. Because he was definitely influential in bringing us to places like the candy store, the playground and things like that, and having an outlet to play this music for the kids, because it was a high school crowd at that point. Not grammar school, but younger high school people were going to those parties. Yeah. It was like a very young crowd. Like it was a great time.
And to Marcel's point, it is a part of Chicago culture, but it has expanded far past the borders of Chicago. Mm-hmm. Like I was in Paris and they have a whole house section in Paris. Yeah. Literally, I have never heard. I was in Brazil. They got a whole house section in Brazil. So and this house picnic that just passed has been a staple also in house culture.
Now, Silk, you had an illustrious career. 4 Grammy nominations. Can you tell us about your early days in the music industry?
Well, you know what, that was Silk. His early days.
Yeah, we have similar resumes, but mine starts a little bit further back.
Yeah, sure does. Yeah, and that's great when he made that reference as far as transitioning from the
Skip say, hold on a minute.
Well, you know what? No, you know what? One S is just as well as the other.
Look, I swapped the papers in front of me. I swapped.
No problem. But it's fantastic that you guys brought that up, because when you talk about these forefathers and these pioneers of a genre of music, and then when you talk about the evolution of the genre of music, that's exciting. And then we're going to transition into what you just made reference to about Paris, Francis, because that was another connection. Because when Steve was sitting in the studio, making hit records, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to travel around the world and expose these hit records that were homegrown from the city of Chicago.
Oh, so you did that?
No, I wouldn't take full credit to say
you
that
can.
I did
You
it.
can. Go ahead.
I can't do that. I was a part of the group of people who helped create that level of exposure. I'm just one part of a big picture. I'm a small part of a big picture, but it's great to see that it caught on. Steve and I have an offset in age just a little bit. However, he and some of his other colleagues were pioneering a genre of music, and then you ushered in a next generation of tastemakers who then took it, created from there.
Yeah, they took it to another level.
And took it to another level. And then,
there's stages to it. It's like when we started putting out our records, we got a lot of success early on due to people hearing the sound and saying, "Man, now that's different." We have New York club music, we have disco, we have Italo house music, we have all these different things. But this is they didn't call it house music then, but this house music, when we dropped those house music songs, it was like a different sound. So it took off in London, and my record Jacket Body ended up going #1 on the pop charts out there, which is what catapulted my career from the standpoint of becoming like a real producer and getting a record deal and experiencing what that was all like, and having my group get signed to RCA Records and everything. So that gave me a lesson in how to be an artist or how to not be an artist, and just concentrate on production and remixing and writing songs, which is what I ended up doing. So went from a DJ, all of a sudden I'm an artist on a label. And then my DJ thing got kind of pushed to the side, but I was still, that's still my first love, but that had to sit to the side when people have you in the studio and you end up, doing Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and all that stuff. Like, so it just gets to the point where, okay, I love DJing, but I'll do that on the weekend,
And do this other thing.
I do that when I have time.
Some things you like, some things you love.
Now, when you said your song Jackie Body, Tamara, I think, started playing it in her mind. She was just dancing. I thought she was having a seizure at first. I was calling 911. but I realized she
I
was.
want you to shut your face up. I ain't having no seizure.
Skip. Look, I know you got Skip. What was the inspiration behind founding SNS with Steve Silk Curly?
Oh wow, that's a fantastic question. Well, the inspiration, A1, he and I both share a love and a passion for music as a whole. Believe it or not, Steve and I got an opportunity. We are running to each other. We've been colleagues for a long time. We worked, went to conferences, done all types of things in passing. But believe it or not, SNS, and it's funny, I would say started in the frozen food section of a grocery store.
Not in the bedroom.
Not in the bedroom. Not in the bedroom.
Frozen fruit section.
In the frozen food section of the grocery store. That's a real store. He was there. I was there. We run into each other. We connected. And it's, like you run into people that you know in the industry and it's just high and by. Mm-hmm. But it just wasn't that. I said, listen, I'm going to be leaving. I'm on my way. So it's funny you say that. I'm on my way to Paris, France. Mm-hmm. When I get back, I'm going to hit your line. So I did that. And he and I connected. We both love playing basketball and hanging out. We played basketball with Steve for maybe a year straight. Didn't do any work, didn't do anything. But every single week, because I was very active at that point in time, was all over the place. So I would be going to Italy, Paris, Germany, back and forth. And sometimes I would run into Steve as we were crossing one another. But as soon as I get back, he and I catch up, and then we start playing basketball again. So after a year passed, we thought, listen, man, we do the same thing. We have similar interests outside of just us loving the game and the sport of basketball. Maybe we should create this parent company and then bring all of our companies in as subsidiaries, and then that's going to make us that much bigger as a entity. Mm-hmm. And when that happened, then you had Ecotron, DJ World, Silk Entertainment, Push Pack, and then ID Records,
Silk Entertainment.
Yep, and then SNS Records becomes the parent company of these subsidiaries, which allowed us an opportunity to capture a pretty good stake in the marketplace. Within the genre.
He was like part of a scene that I didn't even know existed. Wow. Like he was throwing parties. He was throwing parties with like 5,000 to 10,000 people that weren't advertised on the radio. Yeah. And they called them rave parties, but
rave parties.
And it's funny because just to go full circle and to see this, to go to these different places and to do these events, and these guys were making more, if you will, commercial music at that point in time that we were championing, but then we had a whole nother vision for how we wanted to see it shaped out, and where you would see the events that were organized that were commercially, presented, but then we would have something offset from that, and it could be anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 people, and that was an independent run outside of it being connected to, if you will, corporate sponsors, et cetera, so forth.
Wow!
And then we were just doing something, Silk and I, which was great. We just did an event in Slovenia. Had 65,000 people come out.
Whoa!
And to do that,
y'all Beyonce.
Big.
She had 61,000.
She had 61,000.
I did 65. Bigger.
Oh, wow.
Way bigger.
Well, yeah. I guess if you say it like that, but
the numbers don't lie, bro.
So we were fortunate enough to do that, and it was great because when you think about a territory and you think about something as special as house music and being a homegrown genre of music, we create the sauce, if you will.
Yes.
So people want to gravitate and connect to it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that when you go to these places, that's something special because you don't see that every single day. So when you do something in like a Ljubljana or Cooper in Slovenia, now you're going to get the northern portion of Italy. It's ex-Yugoslavia. So now you got Bosnia, Croatia. So all of these people come out because they don't know if that's something that's going to ever happen again. Yeah. And if it does, they don't want to miss that particular moment. So, we move around a little.
It's funny because when she just said, wow, but I wanted to say I was at Pier 31. Shout out Nikki Hayes, and they were doing house night. Mm-hmm. And the Alphas convention was recently in town. And I met a brother from Baltimore. And when the house music came on, he said, this sounds like Baltimore music. I said, no. Baltimore music sounds like Chicago house music. I said,
don't get the origins twisted.
Originated. Right. But there's something special about a house head, right? Mm-hmm. And you can get 65,000 people because these are house heads. They just love the music.
It's a culture.
It's a culture. Yeah. And I saw a meme that said, I don't care how bad Granny knees hurt or how old somebody is when that house music come on.
Right.
They gonna dance all night long after a minute. And so I can see 65,000 people pulling up without,
especially in Europe, because it's more house music became more of their culture. Because our records could be club hits here, but be number one in the UK or number one in Italy. Even that's when I had the Word Is Love record, with Sharon Pass, was one of the singers that's on the show. That's when we were crossing paths, because I was promoting that record going overseas. I was going to France. Turns out I was going to the same club you were going to DJ. We were like crossing paths.
Right.
Like he'd be coming back and I'd be going in. The G-Boost, was it the G-Boost?
Yeah, the G-Boost in Paris, France. Yeah, and it's crazy because, and it's not just in Europe, it's all these different continents, only because he and I got the opportunity to go out to South Africa, which was fantastic.
Oh,
wow. And we laughed about it because Silk hadn't been just as of yet in his career, because he was making hit records throughout the 90s. So we finally got that opportunity, and we had to do Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. And we just on the plane having a conversation. I said, wow, last time I was out here, it was like 10,000 people came out to hear me play. And I'm just like, it was just, it's like, right. No, but it gets cool because we go out there, we do the show, and then we go out with one of the individuals that was actually in Cape Town. And we go to the nightclub, which turned out to be the establishment of the promoter that brought us to South Africa prior to that Silk wasn't there or part of. As soon as he walked up, what did he say?
Man, I haven't seen you since that event. Man, we must have had at least 10,000 people.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. I guess it wasn't an exaggeration.
So it is so interesting to hear how one seed can grow into a forest that now has become intercontinental, like you said it yourself, multi-country. 20 years we're celebrating. And when we come back, we're going to talk about this 20-year festival that's coming up that you don't want to miss. It's Inspiration 1390.
All right.
I'm going to need you, Marcel.
Man, that's an interesting story, y'all. No, you know what? I went to see Black Coffee at Navy Pier. And I only know Superman, right? That was the only thing. And my homie like, come on. And I'm thinking it's going to be, small. Man, I got there the whole end of Navy Pier, and those people were packed together and tight. And I'm like, and it was all racist people. I'm like, house music can bring the pack of place out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you outpacked Beyonce's.
When you said that, I never thought of it that way, because when we do these events, we're not doing them with that intent. Even with this,
but even more organic. It makes it more special because you didn't intend to do that. But 65,000, literally, I'm not a numbers person.
Right.
Yeah. So 61,000 is what she garnered over at Soldier Field. Wow. 61,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but they had, what was that thing a few years ago at Soldier Field? It was not on the radio. We were telling you Calvin was an usher, the kid that played ball with us. They said he was an usher at that festival they had at Soldier Field about maybe 5 years ago.
Was it Spring Awakening?
They had that over at Soldier
Yeah, because how many people were there?
So Deborah Vine says she loves y'all online. And DJ Brandon Bilo says that he wants to meet y'all. Deborah Vine says she loves both of y'all.
Oh, wow. Let's tell them to come on now.
Y'all, you going to get a chance to love on them at an event. So get your thumbs ready so you can get your tickets.
Right.
10 seconds.
I love it when I'm in the tent. I see the white people out there going crazy on the house.
5, 4, 3, 2.
You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It's your girl Tamara Fair on the air, and I am posted in the studio with your main man,
Househead Action Jackson.
He said, not a househead believer. Believe this though, that we do have the pioneers and the special guest in this studio today, Steve Hurly and DJ Skip, and they are celebrating 20 years, and it's going down at Millennium Park. I want you guys to talk about what's going. It's a 4-day celebration. I understand.
4 days.
4 days.
Well, I'll
I mean, in
Yeah,
order
yeah.
to get 65,000 people, I mean, you got to do it over several days.
You
Come
guys
on.
are back after 20 years after the opening of Millennium.
20, yeah.
I would love
Yeah,
to
tell
do
them about the
that.
opening
Yeah,
story.
and that's what I was going to do and let them segue into it. Well, Silk was fortunate enough to be invited to be the DJ for the inaugural opening of Millennium Park. So how great of an honor is that for the city to want to bring them back in order to, 20 years later, to be a part of something special. And our programming vision was not just have him go up there with a card table with, DJ equipment and play music, but give the fans an interactive experience, something that they can really connect to, and a one-on-one that they probably won't get the opportunity to see for everyone's favorite price, which is free 99, So that's what's so cool about it. And I know Steve has special feelings about it himself, just by getting the invite and coming back. And the reason why we wanted to push the envelope a little bit to give the proper presentation, especially within the city of Chicago, by way of the genre of music. So this is great. And D Case and Capital One and everyone has been so supportive and all on board in our efforts. So this is special.
So Skip and Steve, this is going down on the 21st.
Sunday, July 21st.
July
And it's a day party. So if you got to work on Monday, you'll have plenty of time to get a little bit of rest.
No excuses.
No excuses.
4 to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's over.
It's house o'clock.
It's house o'clock. It's house o'clock all day. So my advice, because it's free, you want to get there a little bit early,
like the day
before,
like Saturday night.
Yes, it should be Saturday night.
Yeah, a lot of people last night.
Saturday we got Thursday. That's gonna be out there with a live orchestra on Saturday.
Wait, say that again. I think we missed that.
Oh, Saturday is gonna be Common out there with a live orchestra, and that's free.
So let's talk about really quickly before we get into the lineup, because I understand this is
we want to get this lineup.
This lineup is amazing. How do people get tickets?
It's free.
That's what I know. It's free.
Yes, absolutely.
I said it on purpose. Y'all look like, what's wrong with her?
Okay.
I think she's still in Brazil, but
no, because we very rarely get concerts of this caliber to be free.
Well, we're from Chicago, and we subscribe to everything Chicago. Our company is SNS Chicago. So when we don't just talk it, we walk it.
Yes.
And if when we put something together and we program, our vision is always Chicago first, and then in some case us second. And if we can give our friends and family, because I don't want to call them followers or fans, that's horrible, but our friends and family, if we can give them an interactive experience,
that's
something
safe,
that they can connect to, that encompasses peace, love, unity, and respect, because that's what we stand for. That's our unity message.
I love it.
Peace, love, unity, and respect. That's who we are.
So I see that you all have Damon Williams, who's Chicago's very
own. Rundown, brother.
And I want y'all to split the lineup.
Yeah, please.
Skip, you go first.
You want me to go first? Well, we got Damon Williams. He's a funny guy. He's also a friend. We also have him do so many things within the company. We have, let's see, who do you have? Sharon Pass. You have CeCe Peniston. We have Robin Ness.
Shantae Savage.
Okay, it's not your turn no more. Go ahead, Steve.
Chicago's own and
Yes.
Jamisha Trice and my daughter B. Loren, who's been in the game for a minute.
Right.
She's doing it. And then who else do we leave off? Anybody? Keith Nunley of JM Silk, who's the first records that I put out. He was the lead singer, and we ended up going on tour and getting a record deal and everything. So it's kind of a bit of a reunion for him and I, because, when I started doing production, he continued with his singing career, and I was doing my production thing. So I was in the studio, and he was in the streets.
So it's a big celebration. This year we're celebrating 40 years since house music. This is 20 years since the opening of Millennium Park, since you kicked it off. And now we're going to be back with an expansive, amazing list of artists that are going to be performing. Listen, believers, you do not want to miss this event. Pack the park out this Sunday Doors open at 4:00 or the show started at 4?
Well, the show starts at 4:00. You can get to that park, I think, around 10:00 because it's going to be a lot of programming.
Can you actually get in at 10:00?
I think they're going to let people in. So around,
are they?
So I think
well,
at 10
one good thing that you guys have on your side is that it is being co-produced in partnership with our own mayor, Brandon Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
So there's going to be some perks that you get that you wouldn't get otherwise. So the Chicago Department of Cultural Affairs, special events, is definitely in partnership with you. Millennium Park Foundation, Grant Park Music Festival, Capital One, all of these partners. These are heavy hitters too, because you guys are heavy hitters. Listen, congratulations on 40 years. Congratulations on 20 years, and may you have 40 more. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for gracing us with your elaborate, extensive, exclusive presence. We appreciate you.
That's awesome. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
No, we are so excited. I can't wait. I'll be out there Sunday, believers.
He don't know how to dance though. Y'all show him how to house.
You know what? Hey,
you can do a 2-step in house music and you're good.
Look good on you.
They look great on me.
But you know what does look good on you? You close the show out.
You know what, y'all? We always want to encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know, a perfect stranger, at this event on Sunday, that you love them, and show someone that you do know how much you love them. Lead with love. Land on love. I love you, Action Jackson.
I love you, Tamara Fair.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you too. Silk, Skip, we love you. Y'all have a ball this weekend and keep doing what you're doing. May God encircle you and encompass you and keep you. Peace, y'all. Have a great weekend.
That's awesome. See you.
And I said, Autumn texted me, Joe Biden just stepped down. I said, that's fake news.
Y'all, okay, so the next time I ask you a question, I'm depending on you to make sure that you answer it. Otherwise, I'm going to ask the same question the next day. In the meantime, y'all get to this event. It's Millennial Park's 20-year celebration. And boy, are they doing it big. You want to be a part of that big. It's Millennial Park. It's Sunday. Doors open at 4. You can get there earlier. It's free $9.99. Did I say that? Did I say it 10 times? Free $9.99. Y'all, in the meantime, peace.